علي يا علي علي يا علي ادركني يا أبا الحسن يا علي.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين، شفيع ذنوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وحبيب قلوبنا أبي القاسم محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد
وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين. وأما بعد، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فمن حاجك فيه من بعد ما جاءك من العلم فقل تعالوا ندعو أبناءنا وأبناءكم ونساءنا ونساءكم وأنفسنا وأنفسكم ثم نبتهل فنجعل لعنة الله على الكاذبين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. الحمد لله الذي من المتمسكين بولاية أمير المؤمنين. Praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who blessed us to be amongst those who cling and hold to the walayat of Amir al-Mu'mineen. I first of all say salams to you all and extend to you my most heartfelt congratulations on such a marvellous day. And it's a pleasure to actually be in front of you on this day, looking at faces that are very dear to me because they're members of my family and members of my community, because I'm on my home turf for once after such a long time, and it's an honour to address you on this occasion. Now, if I'm to talk about Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, it's only befitting that I start where he himself started, beholding the sight of Rasulullah Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Now, in the very early days of Islam, the Prophet spent his time nurturing this fledgling religion. Known for his refined mind, his reserved nature, and his meditative manner, he kept Islam within the folds of his own home and in the heights of Mount Hira, where he received revelation. He built up a handful of close, determined and dedicated followers, and the foremost being his wife, Lady Khadija, salamuallahu alayhi, and his cousin, Ali ibn Abi Talib, salawat. Sorry, I could hear a bit of feedback. Is this a little better? Yes, great. Now, the Prophet did this for 3 years, quiet, secluded, nurturing this religion. But after 3 years of this kind of contentment that the Prophet loved, the angel Gabriel brought to him the verse 214 of Surah 26. And in it, it said, وَأَنذِرْ عَشِيرَتَكَ الْأَقْرَبِينَ. Yeah, وَأَنذِرْ, and admonish, warn, عَشِيرَتَكَ الْأَقْرَبِينَ, your close kinsmen. Now the message of Allah and the message of Islam was now to be brought out into the open. Muhammad had asked Ali alayhi salam to arrange and invite all the chief men from amongst the tribes of the Bani Hashim and the Bani Muttalib to a banquet. I think it's a banquet we've all heard of. It's called Dhul Ashira. Now you can imagine the sight. The Prophet addressed the room of well-fed Arab men, inviting them to join him. And we know how Arab men eat. They like their meat, so we've heard. And he invited them along, and he said to them, I want you to be part of this mission. I want you to support this mission. This is what Allah is saying. We have this, and I seek your support. But all remained silent. Now it's known that the Prophet did this once, and Abu Lahab, who was there, decided to dismiss most of the crowd by saying things after he'd heard on the wind what the Prophet was planning. When the Prophet invited them again, he gave them an invitation. I don't know what I'm doing here, but I can keep hearing noises up and down. So maybe the AV guy can sort it out a little bit. Now everybody remains silent, just as you do. Now salawat. I feel terrible. Ali had you all up and clapping, and I feel like it's all gone quiet here. So as Brother Nabeel had said before, a salawat brings happiness and joy to the hearts and enlivens us all. So can I ask you all for one more salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad? chiefmen of the Bani Muttalib and the Bani Hashim, remained absolutely silent. But one young individual, one 13-year-old boy stood, zealous, energized, youthful, young, and he's the one who broke that silence. And he stepped forward and he said, I'll offer you my support. I shall safeguard the Prophet and I'll safeguard the mission. The Prophet asked him to sit down. He wanted to give an opportunity to others to come forward, to step forward, but none did. And Imam Ali stepped up again. This happened 3 times. By the 3rd time, in this gathering of around 40 men, the Prophet ﷺ declared that Ali was his wazir, his vice-regent, and his successor, and that they should listen to him and obey his command. Here he was, this young boy, not someone known for his valor, not someone known for his bravery. He was not recognized at that time as the Lion of God. Rather, amongst those men, he was seen as an almost puny, and it hurts me to say that, but a puny adolescent. That's how they saw him. But here he was, standing. And indeed he was just a boy, but a boy nonetheless with a vision. A boy who could see the part he wished to play in how Islam would be propagated. And as we flick through the pages of history, we'll see what part he played. And we see a common theme that comes time and time again. One, where the Prophet of Islam asks someone to come forward and someone to volunteer. And we see Imam Ali alayhi salam as the one who responds by stepping forward each time. We look not far at the night of Hijrah. Imam Ali alayhi salam stepped forward to sleep where? In the bed of Rasulullah. An easy task, we might say. Imam Ali alayhi salam himself said it was the best night of sleep he'd ever had. But it was a perilous task. There had been pagan mercenaries who'd been wielding sabers, ready to kill the Prophet. Ready, they were ready for blood. They were enraged. You can imagine them lifting the blanket and it not being the Prophet. They were ready to kill. They had anger in their eyes. But Imam Ali took that. He stepped forward to that. We look at Badr. It's Imam Ali alayhi salam who stepped forward and fought the hordes of enemy soldiers while other companions remained at a safe distance away. An act for which even God was so pleased that he rewarded him with Zulfiqar. It didn't go alone. We look at the Battle of Khandaq. And again, it's Ali alayhi salam who steps forward and faces Amr ibn Abdud, a man who in the Arab tribes was known for wielding his sword and being a great lion on the battlefield, actually. Others were scared, but Imam Ali stood there and he put himself forward. And when they fought, what did the Prophet say? On this day, Kull Iman has faced Kull Kufr. All of Iman has faced all of Kufr on this day. We look at Khaybar. Again, it's Ali alayhi salam who steps forward and he conquers the fort of Khaybar and rescues the deficient Muslims. Here's one man, and the huge fort of Khaybar. Every time the Prophet needed, it was Ali alayhi salam who responded by stepping forward. Every time Islam required it, it was Ali alayhi salam who stepped forward. And it's not only the cause of the Prophet, and it's not only the cause of Allah that Ali would step forward to answer, but also the cause of the people. To this day, do we not give nidah to Ali? Do we not say, Na'adi aliyan, mazhar al-laja'ib? Call Ali, Na'adi aliyan, that's what it means, call Ali. Mazhar al-laja'ib, he is the manifester of wonders. We heard it in the poetry that was recited, such beautiful poetry. Mazhar al-laja'ib, the manifester of wonders. Tajidhu awna al-kafi nawa'ib, thou surely shall find him an effective helper in all your calamities. Kullu hammin wa ghammin siyanjali li'azamatika. All worries, all sorrows will soon disappear on account of your authority. Ya Allahu, O Allah, بنبوتك يا محمد, O Prophet Muhammad, O Muhammad, بولايتك يا علي, يا علي, يا علي, by your wilaya, O Ali, O Ali, O Ali. Adrikni, fi sabilillah. Adrikni, come help me for the sake of Allah. How if we just look at this last little word, the last sentence I read, Adrikni, just want to look at that word. Adrikni comes from the root word dark. Dark means to what? To understand. Yeah? We're not just saying, oh Ali, help me. We're saying, Ali, help me. I mean, the depths of my misery, when you can understand someone's needs, that's when one comes to help to the greatest level. And that's how we should call Ali. And that's how he was called in all of these times. Muhammad wa ala Muhammad sallallahu But I should really get to the crux of my lecture, which is Mubahila as well. Inshallah, next week we'll be celebrating that, and I think we're getting a 2-for-1 in this lecture here. Mubahila, an event that took place in the 9th year after Hijri. So this was 1 year prior to Ghadeer, well, just less than a year. The Prophet of Islam died in 11 Hijri, so these are the last years of the Prophet's life. These are the last year of Islam as they knew it at that time. Now, we all know the story of Mubahila, I hope, and if you don't, well, inshallah, maybe the IOS are doing something next week and you'll all know about it. But if we look at that Thursday night, inshallah, the Prophet of Islam is no longer, securing people to come and help in his mission. He's now a statesman. He's now in control of Makkah. He's now in control of Medina. He's engaged in political discourse. He's the most powerful man in Arabia, and yet he is still so humble. We heard it from Sister Rebecca. Humble yourself. Don't let this power come to you. The brothers before me also said the same thing. Now, the story goes that the Christians of Najran were one particular group who were invited by the Prophet Muhammad to accept Islam. And if they weren't to accept Islam, then they had to pay an annual stipend. So these Christians decided, don't fancy doing that, don't want to be doing that. So instead they came with a delegation to Medina to debate and discuss. And first they met some of the representatives of the Prophet, and after that the Prophet answered some of their questions. Still, there were further questions to be had, and Allah intervenes and He reveals verses to dispel any myths and respond to Christian queries. But again, they didn't want to accept this. And so now, at an impasse, and unable to proceed, Allah reveals verse 64 of the 3rd chapter of the Quran, Surah Al-Imran, and that's the Surah Al-Qiyamah, Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. فَمَنْ حَاجَكَ فِيهِ مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا جَاءَكَ مِنَ الْعِلْمِ فَقُلْ تَعَالَوْا نَدْعُ أَبْنَاءَنَا وَأَبْنَاءَكُمْ وَنِسَاءَنَا وَنِسَاءَكُمْ وَأَنفُسَنَا وَأَنفُسَكُمْ ثُمَّ نَبْتَهِلْ فَنَجْعَلْ لَعْنَةَ اللَّهِ عَلَى الْكَاذِبِينَ فَمَنْ حَاجَكَ فِيهِ مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا جَاءَكَ مِنَ الْعِلْمِ. Then whoever argues with you about it after knowledge has come to you, Allah has already given them the knowledge, but they're still arguing. Say to them, come, let us call our sons and call your sons, and our women and your women, and ourselves and and then supplicate earnestly and invoke the curse of Allah upon the liars. Here are the Christians challenged to a divine appeal. Crazy, they accepted it. But almost a year before Ghadeer, the Prophet of Islam is being asked to take his women and his children, but most of all and fundamentally, to take himself. And suddenly in this one instance, we see the last 22 years of Imam Ali stepping forward. Since that day of Dhul Ashira, 22 years of Imam Ali stepping forward, it's suddenly twisted on its head, it's flipped around. We've got the masters of the youth of paradise, Imam Hassan wa Hussein alayhi salam. They're brought forward as the Prophet's sons. We have Lady Fatima al-Zahra salam alayhi. She's brought forward as the women. And now after 22 years of asking someone to step forward, is it any surprise that as a reflection of himself, as a reflection of his own soul, he brings Ali ibn Abi Talib? He's not calling for a volunteer any longer. He's now calling for the one who volunteered all along. This Imam Ali alayhi salam, by Muhammad wa ala Muhammad sallallahu As I mentioned, these are the last years, so less than 18 months before the demise of the Prophet. He's preparing us for Ghadeer. The preparations are beginning from before. Over 20 years since the Dawah of Dhul Ashira, a very powerful statement is being made, all in an event which was actually cut short because no cursing happened, no du'as were made. Mubahila was not just a response to the Christians, but it was a sign, it was a sure sign for the Muslims. He was showing them one of the two weighty things that he discusses within Hadith Thaqalain, my Ahlul Bayt. He's giving them there. He's showing them at the highest mountains. Had they prayed, the mountains would have crumbled. For over 20 years of his prophethood, Rasulullah had continuously asked for someone to step forward, and most importantly, at every juncture, in every battle, in every negotiation, in every decision, it was Imam Ali alayhi salam that did it. Mubahila represents that moment in history where the Prophet no longer asks for volunteers. Ali had now proven himself to Allah, to the Prophet, to the people of the time. Brother Musa originally said, are leaders born or are they made? Ali alayhi salam, what did he do? He worked hard. Every instance he put himself forward. He went forth. He was deserving of this appointment. So the question is, why is Mubahila so important to Ghadeer? Well, let's look at the verse in Surah Ma'idah. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim, it's verse 67. Ya ayyuhar rasul, balligh ma unzila ilayka min rabbik, wa in lam taf'al fama ballaghta risalata. It's half of the verse. Ya ayyuhar rasul, O messenger. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never in the Quran has addressed the Prophet Muhammad in this way. O messenger, deliver. Balligh ma unzila ilayka. Deliver what has been sent unto you, what has been revealed to you, min rabbik, from your Lord. وَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلْ فَمَا بَلَّغْتَ رِسَالَةً. And if you do not do this, it is as though you have done nothing, you have not delivered his message. It's huge. Look at it. It's a commandment of Allah, a command in such a serious manner. And so, when the Prophet stops everybody at Ghadeer, as we heard, the sun was blazing, people were tired after doing the final pilgrimage with the Prophet. They wanted to go home. You know, once you've been on a holiday and it's time to go home, sometimes you just want to get home. They were on their way. And yet, here's the Prophet of Allah stopping them in the midst of a desert. Well, what does he say? Look at the language Rasulullah uses. And as we heard from Maulana Ali Raza Rizvi, that the sermon that he gives, it's tremendously long, and inshallah if you get a chance I would admonish you, I would ask you, I would request you all to go and look at it. It's amazing. In it, he tells them what he has done, he warns them of things, he speaks of the fazail of Imam Ali alayhi salam. But the language that he uses is tremendously interesting. He does not tell the people that Ali is the next leader of Islam. He does not say that Ali is the master of the Muslims, but rather he takes it to another level. And what does he say? He says, the role which I occupy in your life is the role that now Ali shall occupy. He says, do I not have more right over you, the believers, than what you have over yourself? And as we heard, Bala, yes, of course you do. That's what the people pray. And so then the messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes on, O people, this is the last stand I make in such a situation. So listen and obey and submit to the command of Allah, your Lord. For Allah, the exalted and sublime one, is your master and Lord. Then next to him is his messenger, the Prophet, who is now addressing you. Then after me, Ali is your master. Or as we heard, the Prophet holds up the hand of Ali and says, Man kuntu mawla, fahada Ali mawla. For all to see, for all to know. Whoever amongst you takes me as his master. This Ali is his master, and he is my brother and my wasi. And his appointment as your wali is not from me, it's from Allah the Sublime. And this is a commandment that's been revealed to me by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But he's saying, whatever I am to you, Ali is that. So if all you see in the word Mawla is friend, if all the Prophet is to you is friend, then so be it. Ali can be your friend. Prophet was a merciful man, gracious, compassionate. It was boundless, his compassion. Ali can give you that much. If that's all the room you have in your heart for me as a Mawla, as a friend, then so be it. Ali can be that. But if in the Prophet we see our master, we see our Mawla, then let Ali be our master and Mawla. The message of Ghadeer was being conveyed to the pilgrims. We here are like pilgrims. We are the receivers and the receptacles of this message. If Mawla can only mean friend, then that's the receiver's lack. But if Mawla can if your fill is greater, and in your heart you can receive Ali as your Mawla, then what a heart the believer can have. Ali can reside within that heart, subhanAllah. A year before he brought Ali forward as his nafs in Mubahila. It's no surprise that in Ghadeer he brings Ali forward to be what he himself is to the people. And we can look in Dua Nutbah, the Prophet's own words, Anta akhi wa wasi wa warithi. You are my brother and successor and inheritor. Lahmuka min lahmi wa damuka min dami. Your flesh is my flesh, and your blood is my blood. Wa silmuka silmi wa harbuka harbi. Your truce is my truce, and your fight is my fight. Al-iman mukhalitun lahmuka wa damak. Faith is mixed intrinsically and mingles with your flesh and blood, kama khalata lahmi wa dami, just as it is mixed and mingles with my blood and my flesh. Wa anta taqdi dayni wa tunjizu idati, and you are the fulfillment of my religion, and you shall keep alive my way of life. Look at this, we don't have to go far. Dua Nutbah, we should be reciting it every Friday. We read it on Eid, inshallah. Many who have been for Eid present on that day, they've recited it. Look at what the Prophet is saying. Can you give any greater value to the worth of Ali ibn Abi Talib? No, it's amazing. But it's no good me just saying this without having a little bit of reflection. I suppose we've got to take away something, because we've talked about Sadaf Ali, just not enough. So what is there to learn? In essence, Ghadeer wasn't something that just happened. Imam Ali alayhi salam didn't just turn up and get appointed leader. This was due to his lifelong efforts of submission and sacrifice. Ghadeer is the culmination of Ali stepping forward every time, at every instance, consistently, unflinchingly, doing everything right at every opportunity, to do what is right, to not be afraid, not waiting for somebody else to go forth first, being that one. Whether that was in battle, whether that was in the masjid giving sadaqah, it was constantly happening. He was constantly happening. And when I think of the personality of Imam Ali alayhi salam, I think of him as truly dynamic. How else is an imam? How else can he be an imam that touches every spirit? Because of his own very own spirit. He was a free spirit. He was constantly aware. He was constantly doing, being, living. He was for the moment, in the moment, for the future. And that's what taqwa is. He is Amir al-Mu'mineen, Imam al-Muttaqeen. That taqwa, that God consciousness is in him, around him, around his entire being. Because it was in everything that he did. Events like Ghadeer and Mubahila can have a multitude of interpretations. However, it's important to understand the direct implications on our own lives. The message I'm trying to convey, possibly not doing a very good job of, is one of seizing the opportunities that we have before us. The Greeks took this message on, as they say, carpe diem. For those of you who know some Latin, seize the day. And what better day than today to seize that opportunity, to seize that day. Ghadeer represents not just a moment in time, a landmark in history, but a culmination of continuous virtue. The natural conclusion of exercising the good in every opportunity. The appointment of Ali as the successor was a position that he achieved, that he deserved. Stepping forward as a 13-year-old boy, it's clear how his path led him to this stage, and he chose that path. And it reminds me here amongst, as I said, my friends and my family, on my home turf, to make a special mention of the work the IUS do, because I've been sat there and I've been looking and I've been truly blown away. The IUS, in many ways, is the work it's doing is the personification of the lesson that we can learn from Ghadeer. IUS have always been amongst the first to lead the way, whether that was getting young people involved, whether that was getting blood drives set up, whether that was creating food banks, whether that's being one of the initial respondents to the refugee crisis. And they're doing exceptionally well. Their approach to supporting the humanitarian crisis is something that we see Imam Ali alayhi salam doing. The message of exercising good in every opportunity and where the moment arises, to step forward, to support and give. That's what the IUS is about, and I pray that they continue to do this work and that Allah helps and blesses them with all that they do, and inshallah gives us all the tawfiq to do such work. I want to conclude with one last line, and it comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because He's deserving of it. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Al-yawm akmaltukum sorry, I'm going to say it again. Al-yawm akmaltu lakum dinakum wa atmamtu alaykum ni'mati wa raditu lakum al-Islam dina. This day I have perfected for you your religion and have completed my favor on you and have chosen for you Islam as a religion. That's what Ghadeer does. By Muhammad wa ala Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.